Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is July 29th, 2024, and Barcelona are taking the patient approach with Joao Cancelo. Also, the club are preparing a new offer for Dani Olmo, and it's reported that the club are on the cusp of achieving the one-to-one rule. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and it's July 29th, 2024. And this is the Barca News live podcast, which is on every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, where not only do I get to share Barcelona news with you, but I also get to interact with you lovely people in the chat section by reading your comments out loud, answering your questions, and getting that discussion going. For those of you who will be watching when the podcast ends, I will be putting timestamps in the description, chapters in the timeline, in case you do want to skip through it. Having said all that, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. If you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, you have the options of going to Kickback, Fanatics, Goal Kits. If you want to place any sports bets on any sporting events, including Barcelona matches, you can go to Bet Us. All links are down below in the description, and you do get access to pretty cool offers and discount with all the links. Anyways, having said all that, let's dive right into the news because Barcelona are officially in the USA as part of the preseason tour. In yesterday's video, I told you about the 31 players that Hansi Flick has selected for this tour. The team landed yesterday at 4 p.m. in Orlando, Florida. And today they had their first training ahead of tomorrow's match. Finally, we get to see Barcelona play. But tomorrow, Barcelona will face off against Manchester City in what will be the first preseason tour, the first US preseason tour match, because they did have a friendly match before that, which was against UE Olot behind closed doors. That was kind of like a test run. Tomorrow, the first official match of the preseason. We'll see how the team does. Of course, it is a preseason match. It's just a friendly. It's going to be a lot of changes. Don't expect anything. Don't get mad if Barcelona lose. Don't get all excited if Barcelona win. It's just a friendly match. That's all there is. It's an exhibition match to try things out, try different players in different positions. But anyways, let's talk about the important things because not that the preseason is not important, but let's talk about the news that Barcelona are reportedly on the cusp of achieving the one-to-one rule. Now, as you know, and as I reported before, Joan Laporta wanted to tie all the loose ends when it came to the pending financial deals that Barcelona had before traveling to the US. If Laporta was not able to finalize or to tie up those loose ends, he was going to stay in Barcelona. But he has not. He has traveled with the team to the U.S., which means he has finalized all those loose ends. And now it's being reported that Barcelona are on the cusp of achieving the one-to-one rule, and they are set to achieve it this week, July 29th week. Barcelona are set to achieve the one-to-one rule after many, many seasons that Barcelona were under different rules, the 1-4, 1-3, 1-2. But finally, Barcelona are reportedly set to achieve the one-to-one rule. Now, how are Barcelona going to do this? Well, the key to all of this is the Barca Vision deal. I explained this before, but I'll say it again for those of you who don't understand or for those of you who missed it. But Barcelona presented a viability plan to La Liga. In this plan, they promised to achieve certain goals in order to put back the club on the right financial course. In exchange, La Liga would facilitate financial fair play things for Barcelona, and then would help Barcelona achieve the one-to-one rule. Now, Barcelona have met most of these goals on its viability plan, such as cutting their expenses all across the board, cutting down the wage bill, getting rid of big contracts that they had. But one thing they haven't been able to achieve is the Barca Vision deal, because Barcelona, on that viability plan, promised that they were going to get 100 million euros from Libero for the sale of portion of Barca Vision. That did not materialize because Libero failed to pay 40 million euros back in December. And they're, of course, not going to pay the remaining 60 million euros, which are due this summer. As a result of Barcelona achieving this goal, they have not been able to achieve the one-to-one rule because, again, Barcelona needed to accomplish all the goals on that viability plan in order to be placed under the one-to-one rule. Since they haven't achieved this goal, they have not been able to reach the one-to-one. Now, what's the new news? as I said before, Barcelona are currently working with a group of investors, including Spotify. Barcelona have also reached out to other sponsors they already have deals with, such as Nike, Cupra, and Ambilight. Light. And they want to form this group of investors who can invest in Barca Vision, buy the portion of Barca Vision that belong to Libero, and of course, cover the payments that Libero failed to make. Now, the first payment that Libero failed to make was, of course, the 40 million euros that were due back in December. And it's reported that Barcelona now have those 40 million euros in hand from these group of investors. As soon as it's deposited, they present the paperwork to La Liga that they have the 40 million euros in their bank account, then Barcelona will achieve the 1-to-1 rule. Now, it's expected that's going to happen this week. Barcelona are expected to receive that money this week. And if it happens this week, again, Barcelona will achieve the 1-to-1 rule this week. This is very, very crucial because Barcelona cannot complete any of their pending operations without achieving the 1-to-1 rule. What pending operations are we talking about? Registering Vitor Roque, who's not registered yet. Registering the second year of Iñigo Martinez. The signings of Nico Williams, and the signing of Dani Olmo. Without achieving the 1-to-1 rule, Barcelona cannot do any of this. So it's very, very important that Barcelona achieve the 1-to-1 rule. They will achieve it as soon as they get those 40 million euros. It's expected they will get those 40 million during this week. Now, you might say, Mo, you said Libero didn't pay a total of 100. What about the other 60? Good question. The other 60 are not as big of a rush as the 40. The 40 million is necessary to achieve the 1-to-1. The other 60, Barcelona still have time to obtain it. Where are they going to obtain it? Well, from the same group of investors. Barcelona are still negotiating with this group of investors to get the 60 million. And they're reporting that Barcelona already has 30 out of the 60 million. So far, Barcelona are set to receive the 40 this week. They already have the 30 guaranteed. And they would just have to keep negotiating for the other 30. And that would total 100 million. When is Barcelona expected to get the other 60 million? Since they're getting the 40 this week, they're expected to finalize that during the first half of August. So by August 15th, Barcelona need to get the other 60 million. Now, even though I said there's not much of a rush to get the 60 as the 40, because they need the 40 to achieve the 1-to-1, they still do need to get the 60 pretty soon, because without those 60, they cannot complete the signings of Olmo or Nico Williams, and Barcelona are currently racing against the clock because Dani Olmo has been scheduled to appear in the preseason with Leipzig on August 9th, and Nico's scheduled to go back to Athletic Club de Bilbao on August 12th. And the goal is to sign the players before those dates, because the players would rather get signed before they have to go back to their respective teams for their pre-seasons. So that's the news. Barcelona reportedly expected to achieve the 1-to-1 this week. They're supposed to receive the 40 million this week. We'll see if that happens, because here's the thing. We've been hearing about this for months now. Oh, Barcelona's going to close the deal next week. Oh, Barcelona's going to close the deal in 2 weeks. Oh, Barcelona's going to close the deal yesterday. And it doesn't happen. So at this point, I'm more of I want to see it to believe it. Because the worst thing about all of this is that the reporters, us content creators, are the ones who end up paying for this. Because we're just here to tell you what the club is telling us. The club told us next week. This is the news. But then it doesn't happen. And then we look stupid, right? Because people come and they're like, Mo, what the hell? You told me it was going to happen last week. Mo, what the hell? You told me it was going to happen last month. Mo, what the hell? You told me it was going to happen 2 months ago. I'm sorry. I'm just a messenger. So don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what the club is saying. I hope it happens. But at this point, I'm not holding my breath. At this point, I will believe it when I see it, because I think we've looked pretty foolish this whole summer, me, other content creators, and the reporters, who our only job is to transmit the message of the club. But again, we continue to look stupid because we look like we're lying to you, or it looks like we're just giving you fake news just for the sake of it. But that's not the case. Anyways, that's the latest update from Barcelona, that they're expected to finish it this week. Let's hope it happens because it needs to happen. Otherwise, Barcelona cannot do anything in the transfer market. All right, let's do the comment section, and then we will talk about Joao Cancelo, someone we thought we weren't going to be talking about, but apparently they're still interested in him. And we have our first donation of the night, Baby Scumbag. Thank you so much, my friend, for your donation. Baby Scumbag always donating and supporting the channel. So thank you, my friend, for your support. But Baby Scumbag says, what's up, Mo? This Olmo signing makes no sense sporting-wise. Panic buy. No transfer is something better than making another wrong transfer. I have to agree with you. I don't think there's a need for Olmo. Would it be nice to have him? Sure. Do we need him? No. Plus, I don't think he's worth 60 million. Even if we should sign him, I don't think we should be signing him for 60. But having said that, if Nico doesn't come, then it would make more sense. But to try to sign the two, I don't know. I don't think we need both. But I think Barcelona, what they should have done is waited until Nico gives his answer. And if Nico would have said no, then try to sign Olmo. And if Nico would have said yes, not sign Olmo, but not try to sign both. But what do I know? I'm not a sporting director. I'm not a coach. Maybe we're wrong. Let's hope we are. Otherwise, Barcelona will be throwing money down the drain. All right, let's see. Nicholas says, Mo, sent you a picture of Nico and Yamal that together on Instagram. I haven't seen your message, but I have seen that picture circling around. Let's hope let's see Lamine Yamal. Let's hope Lamine Yamal's father helps convince Nico Williams to come to Barcelona. Because as I've said before, it looks like he's leaning towards staying at Athletic Club. Of course, that's not final. I know I've seen a lot of reports out there saying, oh, it's final. Nico Williams decided. He already renewed with Athletic Club Bilbao. He's already playing with them. He already won the Champions with them. No. He's still thinking about it. He hasn't made up his mind, but they're saying he's leaning towards more staying at Athletic Club Bilbao. Let's see. His answer is expected to be given during this week. Let's see what he says. Abdullah says, Assalamu alaikum, Mo. What about Baye? That guy is great. All the way from Gambia, West Africa. Thank you, my friend, for your comment. Baye is participating in the preseason. He's expected, to get a chance. If he can convince Flick, then he will stay. Also, Barcelona are reportedly working on his contract renewal. And we do have another donation. The angry Sparky, always making it rain. Thank you, my friend, so much for your donation. But he says, unpopular comment incoming. How about we suffer a little bit and don't buy anyone for a couple of seasons? Sell who we can, promote La Masia and Barca B players, and build up our coffers again and wait for the right time. I don't think that's an unpopular comment. I think that's a very reasonable thing to do, or a very reasonable suggestion. My only concern is the left wing. And the problem is that we don't have anyone there. I'm okay with not signing anyone for any other positions. I think we have every other position covered for now, on a short-term basis at least. But the left wing is very worrying because there's nobody to fill that position. So I think we really do need a left winger. And sure, we can technically promote someone from the academy to fill that void, but someone who gets promoted from the academy to fill a first-team void is going to take them some time to get used to that position and some time to get better or good at that position, unless your name is Lamine Yamal, of course. But that's the exception, not the rule. That he's just a freak of nature, how good he is. But usually, when a kid gets promoted to the team, it takes them some time. There are, of course, a few exceptions, like Cubarsini Yamal, but those are exceptions, not the rule. So the problem is with that is, and if we do promote someone from the academy for the left wing and just keep them there, it's going to take them at least season, maybe two. And during that season or two, you're still going to have a huge weakness on the left wing. That's the only problem. But I mean, it's not an unreasonable thing to just focus on what you have and on the academy, and maybe think about signing later down the road. Carlos says, Mo, the man, the myth, the legend. If we don't get Nico, would you say that he was a failure? If so, is it Deco's fault? I wouldn't say it's a failure. I think it would be disappointing. And I wouldn't blame Deco or the club, because here's the thing. Barcelona have done their part. Barcelona have communicated to the player that they're interested in him. Nico Williams said he's also interested in coming to Barcelona. Based that both parties are interested in having a relationship, Barcelona then negotiated with the agent. They made their offer. They prepared the contract. Everything's done. It's up to Nico whether to say yes or no. So I wouldn't call it a failure. sometimes people just don't want to come. There's nothing you can do. If you, let's say you want to rent an apartment and you go, you shop around, you find the apartment you like, you apply to it, you put a deposit down, and then they tell you, sorry, we're going to give the apartment to someone else. Does that mean you're a loser, you're a failure, you suck at your job? No. You did your part. It wasn't meant to be. So I wouldn't call it a failure. I think it would be just disappointing. I wouldn't say it's Deco's fault either, because again, he did his part. Whether, the player decides to come or not, that's on him. Anyways, speaking of Deco, let's talk about Deco, because as I reported in yesterday's video, Laporta, the board, all the team has traveled to the US except Deco. He has remained behind in the city of Barcelona. He has not traveled to the US as part of the free season tour. And the reason for that is because Deco has remained behind in order to finalize the several pending operations that Barcelona has. What are those operations? Nico Williams, who we just talked about. Deco is waiting. In case Nico Williams says, yes, I want to come, then Deco will start mobilizing, have Nico sign the contract with the club, finalize that, reach out to Athletic Club de Bilbao, make the payment, finalize all the paperwork, and make Nico into a player. Another operation that Deco has stayed behind for is that of Dani Olmo. As I told you in yesterday's video, Barcelona have reached an agreement with Dani Olmo, but now we need to negotiate with RB Leipzig. So Deco has remained behind to negotiate with Leipzig. And finally, there's another operation that Deco is working on, and that's the operation to sign Joao Cancelo. It looks like Barcelona are still interested in keeping Joao Cancelo. Of course, it's not going to be a permanent transfer like Manchester City are asking for. So instead, Barcelona are now approaching this operation from kind of like the patient side. What does that mean? Barcelona want to wait until the final days of the summer transfer market for Joao Cancelo. They're not going to make any moves. They're not looking to spend big on Cancelo. They're not looking to go crazy, enter into bidding wars, none of that. Barcelona are going to wait. The strategy is to wait until the last few days of the summer transfer market. If Cancelo continues to reject all the offers that he gets and continues to insist on coming to Barcelona, which is that's what he's doing right now. But again, from here until the end of the summer transfer market, a lot of things can change. But for now, Cancelo is rejecting all offers and he's insisting he wants to go to Barcelona. So if Cancelo continues to do that until the end of the summer transfer market, that could end up putting pressure on Manchester City, who have been adamant that if you want Cancelo, it's a permanent transfer. You pay us 30, 40 million, you can have him. That's their position. But if Cancelo continues to reject offers and continues to insist on Barcelona until the final days of the summer transfer market, City might end up caving and saying, okay, well, we don't want this guy. He doesn't want us. He doesn't want to go anywhere else but Barcelona. Fuck it, I guess he's going to Barcelona. So that's the approach that Barcelona are currently taking with Cancelo. They want to wait until the final days. They want to see if City get desperate, kind of like what happened last summer with City and Atletico Madrid. That's how Barcelona signed both Joaos. So Barcelona will patiently wait to see what happens with Cancelo. Now, why Cancelo over Felix? Well, for one reason. Well, technically two, but the first reason kind of applies to both. The first reason is Jorge Mendes. Jorge Mendes is willing to do whatever he can in order to make sure Cancelo can come to Barcelona. So Barcelona are counting on the help of Cancelo's agent, Jorge Mendes. The second reason is because Flick believes that he can extract a lot more from Cancelo than from Felix, which is what I've been saying over and over again. Felix is not it. But people insist, no, he's great. He scored like one goal that one time, remember? Not even Flick believes that. So Flick believes that he can get more out of Cancelo than Felix. That's why Barcelona are prioritizing Cancelo. Felix, the only way Barcelona would sign Joao Felix is if everything else fails. Nico says no. Leipzig say no to Dani Olmo. Merino doesn't come. Nobody comes. Then Barcelona would try to get Felix. But right now, Cancelo is the only one that Barcelona are trying to get out of the Joaos. And again, they're going to wait until the final days to see what happens. If Cancelo doesn't come, Flick is okay with that. Flick is kind of like, you want to bring me Cancelo? Sure, I'll work with him. You don't bring me Cancelo? I don't care. I have Koundé, I have Ford, I have Julián Araujo. I'm pretty good. But we'll see what happens. Just know that for now, Deco is playing the long game with Joao. Cancelo. And we have another donation. Let's go. Chuchu says, let's just move on from Nico. If you ask me, we're still going to do great. La Masia talents will dominate. Bernal, Fernandez, Cousins, Darvic. I think it's too early. I mean, everything's worked out with Nico's agent. The Barcelona have negotiated. He's expected to give his answer middle of this week. I mean, waiting a few days is not going to kill us. If all of a sudden we find out that Nico's going to give us his answer in like end of August, then I would say, yeah, absolutely. Just move on. Let's try to bring someone else, or let's focus on what we have. But I mean, it's expected that he's going to give his answer middle of this week. That's in 2-3 days. I don't think it would make sense to just throw it all out the window, just instead of having to wait, 2-3 days. Okay, let's see. I have my glasses on. I'm like, why am I struggling? Curtis says, Mo, please explain to our fans that if Nico decided to stay at Bilbao, it is not Laporta or Deco's fault. I agree. Like I said, Barcelona did their part. Now the ball is in Nico's court. If he wants to come, great. If he doesn't, it's his loss. I mean, what is he going to do? Play at Athletic Club de Bilbao and hope to win the Copa del Rey every now and then? Because let's be honest, Athletic Club de Bilbao are not competing for La Liga. They're not competing in the Champions League. I mean, the best he can hope for is maybe win the Copa del Rey. All right. And my man Klaus says, hi, Mo. Hope you had a good weekend. Thank you, my friend. I actually had a great weekend. I had a friend visiting from Australia, and we went out all 3 days. That's why I don't know if you noticed, my videos were super late on Saturday and Sunday. But I had a great weekend. I hope you had a great weekend too, and I hope everybody watching had a great weekend. And Ross says, Mo, I know this is way ahead, but what do you think happens after Lewandowski? Like after he retires or gets sold? That's a good question. I don't think Barcelona are necessarily revealing their plans for. Doesn't mean they're not thinking about it, or maybe they're not thinking about it. I don't know. But so far, they're not really revealing what their plans are as far as what comes after Lewandowski. I guess a lot of it will be determined during this season, right? How does Vitor Roque do? If he ends up, convincing Flick in the preseason and ends up doing great throughout the season, then Barcelona are covered. They're good to go. If not, if Roque doesn't work out, then Barcelona maybe could try to next summer look for a replacement. There's also Pau Victor. Barcelona just signed Pau Victor. I'm sure he'll get minutes during the season. Barcelona will be watching that. So who knows? Pau Victor ends up killing it with the first team like he was killing it with Barca Athletic. Boom. Barcelona have their answer there. We have other options, of course, in the academy. We have Tony Fernandez. We have Oscar Gistao. Even though Gistao, he might be a little bit too young. He just turned 15, if I'm not mistaken. So there are options. We have options within, like I said, Roque, Pau Victor, Tony Fernandez, Oscar Gistao. We have options there. And again, I'm sure Barcelona want to take this season to figure out what to do next, because this season will determine, right, do we have a replacement or not? Can Vitor Roque be the replacement? Can Pau Victor be the replacement? Is it too soon for Tony Fernandez, or is he ready? Is it too soon for Gistao, or is he not ready? And based on that, I'm sure Barcelona will come up with a plan on how to replace Lewandowski. Plus, we don't even know what's going to happen with Lewandowski. I mean, what if Flick ends up extracting the best out of him and he gives us a season with 40, 50 goals? It looks like he still has some gas in the tank. We'll see. Howie says, Mo, that pic of Lamine, father, and Nico is an old photo from the Euros. He is wearing a Spain jersey. Cool. Good to know. We have another donation. Let's do that donation. And, I guess I skipped that donation. Okay. Anthony Vertugos, thank you, my friend, for your donation, but says if Nico arrives, the Rafinha sale gets Nico Olmo Merino. I think if Nico arrives, it looks like Olmo has a bigger chance of arriving since he already gave us the green light. We just got to negotiate with Leipzig. Still, there's a big possibility he doesn't. But I think if Nico comes, Rafinha could end up rethinking his position. Now, if Nico and Olmo come, I think then definitely Rafinha will have to rethink his position, because he's going to realize there's no way in hell I'm getting minutes. And he's going to want to look for minutes somewhere else, especially because he's not going to get any time with the Brazilian team if he doesn't get minutes with Barcelona. But anyways, let's get back to the news. Since we are talking about Dani Olmo, or I just mentioned Dani Olmo, let's talk about Olmo, because Barcelona are reportedly preparing a new offer for the Spanish attacker. Now, as you know, Barcelona made the first offer to RB Leipzig. It was 40 million euros fixed, paid in installments, plus 20 million euros in variables. That offer was immediately rejected by Leipzig. So Barcelona are reportedly preparing a second offer, and that offer is expected to go out this week. As you know, Deco has stayed behind in Barcelona. He's working on that offer, and it's expected to be sent this week. We'll see what Barcelona do as far as increasing their offer, or what else can they throw in there where Barcelona could still afford it, but it could also be convincing to Leipzig. Now, Leipzig wants 60 million euros for Dani. Barcelona, on the other hand, they want to reduce those 60 million. They want to negotiate down. We'll see if they can both meet in the middle, or if Leipzig insists, no, I want 60, I want 60. Now, if Barcelona cannot reduce the 60 million, then they're going to try to negotiate installment plan where they can make the 60 million euros in payments, because Barcelona cannot afford right now to pay 58 million for Nico plus 60 for Dani. And since Nico is the priority, they're trying to negotiate the 60 million down for Nico, for Dani Olmo. And if they can't, they'll try to make it in installments. Now, Leipzig, they're not trying to block this move. Leipzig are open for Dani Olmo to leave. Like I said in yesterday's video, they're very thankful to him. They're thankful to his service. They're thankful he's always been loyal to them. They're thankful that he's always had offers and never sought to leave. He always stayed. They're thankful that he never tried to pressure them for an exit or try to pressure him for more money. They're thankful for him. They understand that he's outgrown the club. They understand that he would like to go back to Spain, his home country, and as such, they're not looking to block his move. They're okay with him leaving, but also they're not looking to give him away for free, because they want an offer that matches his current value, which the Euros did not help. The fact that Dani Olmo did great in the Euros with Spain, the fact that he ended up winning the Euros with Spain, that has definitely increased his market value. And that, of course, does not help Barcelona. It helps Leipzig greatly, because now they can demand more money, but it doesn't help Barcelona. So Leipzig open to the exit of Olmo, but also they're not looking to give him away. They want the 60 million. Barcelona will try to negotiate it down. And if not, they'll try to negotiate an installment plan. And the second offer is expected to go out this week. So as soon as I have news about what the offer looks like, I'll bring you that video. So stay tuned to that channel. All right, let's do more comments. I have a really killer pain in my jaw, by the way. It's killing me. Anyways, all right, let's see. Hanok says, hi, Mo, watching from DRC, a French-speaking country. In your Friday podcast, you promised you make a video in French. We'll be very glad to hear you speaking French, even for 2 minutes. No, I said I have to first practice my French before I make the video in French. I don't want to embarrass myself. I know very basic French, just like, hi, how are you? And asking for directions and ordering food. Because I learned a little bit when I went to France. I didn't want to be a complete tourist. I wanted to be at least somewhat able to communicate with the locals. So I know a little bit, but not enough to do a video. Hell no. Nima says, hey, Mo, I think a reason for Nico's delay for a decision might be the fact that Barca still has not officially announced reaching 1-1. He might be worried about registration, valid possibility. Actually, that is a real concern. I discussed that in a previous video. The reason why Nico, and that news was after Deco met with Nico's agent. Deco presented the draft of the contract. He was like, this is what we got to offer, 5 years, 12 million euro salary. And the only reason why Nico did not say 100% yes is because, yes, that was a concern. That's a concern that the agent brought up where, okay, you guys haven't even reached the 1-1. I can't give you my 100% because what if I agree to sign, I come to Barca, I leave my old club, and all of a sudden, oh, sorry, we can't register you. And now he's out, right? Kind of like what's happening with Iñigo, right? Iñigo came, great, played first season. Now we still haven't registered his second year of contract. And if we don't, he's going to end up on the bench. Kind of like with Julián Araujo, right? Julián Araujo came in the winter. Barcelona did not register him on time. There was a problem with deadline with the system. I think it didn't upload on time or something like that. And Julián Araujo spent the whole second half of the season, that's the 2022-2023 season, spent this whole second half just practicing with Barça Athletic because he could not play a single match because he wasn't registered. And then obviously he was sent to Las Palmas. But anyways, so Nico, yes, that is a real concern on Nico's mind. Syed says, really fed up These news, some same news coming daily. Barcelona TV 1-1 soon and soon and soon, but no deal is closed till now. Neither Nike nor Barca Vision. Listen, man, I'm getting fed up too. Like I said, the problem with this is that the ones who end up taking the brunt of this whole thing is us content creators and reporters, because we just bring you what the club says, and then it doesn't happen, and then we look stupid. It looks like we're lying to you. It looks like we're bringing you unreliable news. It looks like we're just giving you clickbaits, but I promise you, I'm just bringing you the news of what the club is saying. So don't be mad at me, please. Anyways, all right, let's see. What else? Yusuf says, Mo, in Africa, we do handle the massager, so we can get the one who's... Oh, the messenger. Handle the messenger, so we can get the one who sent the messenger. So if you are just a messenger, what about we, the listeners? Who can we hold responsible for it? You hold the club responsible, because this news is coming straight from the club. If the club tells us, hey, it's coming next week, and it doesn't come next week, I'm not the one who lied to you. I just told you what the club told me. All right, let's see. What else? Jonathan says, love from Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you, my friend, for your comment. And Ismail says, rather than buy Olmo, they should just go for Alvarez. He can be useful for many years. Olmo isn't what is needed. Barcelona produce similar players every season. We cannot afford Alvarez. Julian Alvarez will probably cost a minimum of 90, 100 million, not to mention his salary. Alvarez is not going to go from having a Manchester City Premier League salary to come to Barcelona and earn peanuts. He's going to want a big salary, especially one that reflects the fact that he just won the Copa America, and the summer before that he won, or the winter before that, he won the World Cup. So it would be a huge, huge transfer fee, by 90, 100 million to City, plus an incredibly high salary for Alvarez. We cannot afford that. All right, let's see. Let's do the last bit of news, and then we will do a lot more comments. But let's talk about our captain, Sergi Roberto. As you know, Roberto's contract expired on June 30th. He was hoping to extend it. Barcelona were going to extend it because Xavi asked for it. But once Xavi left and Flick came, Sergi was no longer a priority. So Barcelona decided, look, you can wait until the final day of the summer. If we have space on the wage bill, maybe we'll sign you. If not, oh well. So Sergi Roberto, of course, decided that he's going to part ways with the club, because he cannot keep waiting. If he waits until the last day and then Barcelona are like, sorry, we can't sign you, now he's left without a club and he has nowhere to play next season. Plus, it's reported that Sergi Roberto is disappointed with the club because nobody had the decency of picking up the phone and say, hey, sorry, Sergi, we're not going to sign you, or yes, Sergi, we're going to sign you, nothing. And I think that little bit boils my blood, because I think Barcelona have had a pretty bad reputation of how they treat their legends. And this just adds to it, because whether you like Roberto or not, whether you think he's finished or not, you cannot deny the fact that he is a club man, 100% through and through. He came up through our academy. He spent his whole career at Barcelona. He's given us a lot of great moments. He's the kind of player that never caused any drama, never caused any problems. He always put his head down. He worked hard. Whatever minutes he was given, he would take them. Whatever position they wanted him to play in, he played in it. He never complained. He just did whatever the club needed him to do, because he was always a Barca man through and through. And after spending almost his whole life at the club, Barcelona doesn't even have the fucking decency saying, hey, thank you for your services, but we don't need you. Like, seriously, a 30-second phone call? How about a text message? Hey, thanks, man. Nothing. So anyways, I'm not going to get into it more because it pisses me off. But anyways, Sergi Roberto was disappointed also with how the club have treated him. And as such, he has decided to leave. And, well, not to leave. His contract already expired, but, not to wait any longer. And while the new news is that it looks like Ajax are showing some serious interest in the player. And out of all the offers that Sergi Roberto has, because he does have offers in the Premier League, Aston Villa, West Ham, he has offers from the Serie A. If I'm not mistaken, Inter Milan are interested in him. But out of all the offers that he has, it looks like Ajax is the one that attracts him the most for two reasons. First of all, the Dutch league is not going to be as demanding, let's say, as the Premier, right? And Sergi Roberto, he understands, I'm getting older, I'm getting slower. So somewhere like the Dutch league will perhaps be a better fit for him as far as his conditioning or his physical abilities. And finally, because Ajax, they play what Sergi Roberto is used to, possession-based football. So it looks like Ajax is the club that's interested in Sergi Roberto the most. It's not final. They're still negotiating. There's still a lot to negotiate. It's not final, but Sergi is interested in heading to the Dutch league. Of course, there is interest in Sergi from La Liga, but Sergi has said absolutely not. He doesn't want to play against any clubs in La Liga because he doesn't want to play against Barcelona, which again just shows what kind of clubman he is. So Barcelona, for fuck's sake, have the decency to pick up the phone and talk to one of your legends and stop treating your legends in such a shitty way. Anyways, let's get back to the chat section. Legacy says, why aren't Barca not focusing on a CDM? It should be our number one priority. I don't trust Deco. We miss Alemany. Well, I've explained this plenty of times in plenty of my past videos. The reason why, because Flick has told Deco and Laporta that there's no need to bring someone for the center midfield position. Why? Because A, he's incredibly impressed with Marc Casado. B, he really likes what he's seen from Marc Bernal. And C, he also likes what he's seen from Romeo. So Deco's just following what Flick told him. Told him we don't need a CDM. So I have three options. So why would the club spend money on a position that the coach himself is telling you we don't need? Emmanuel says, hi Mo, it's Emmanuel Lawrence from Liberia. I hope we get Nico Williams. That's my prayer. I hope so too, but I'm no longer holding my breath for it. We'll see what happens. George Bro says, Nico's not coming. He has made up his mind. I know his cousin, and he said that Nico's going to stay at Bilbao. All right. Lanzana says, our captain is very important for the club from Sierra Rutil, Sierra Leone. Thank you for your comment, my friend. And Chucho says, Roberto should be calling Barca to thank them. Dude's been asked since he was given a debut appearance. No, he has not. Zio says, I think Barca are just playing our emotions. Nico's not coming. We're not selling out. Nike deal. Even when we believe in the young player, we still need one or two experienced players. The Nike deal, Laporta already said it's going to be mid to long range, so don't expect the Nike deal to be announced anytime soon. And when I say anytime soon, don't expect it this week or next week. Sometime in the summer will be announced. But right now, the main priority is Barca vision. That's what Barcelona need to achieve the 1-1 rule. They need Barca vision. They're fully focused on that. They're saying they're going to get the 40 million this week and achieve the 1-1 and the other 60 in first half of August. All right, let's see. Captain Paul says Alvarez would be perfect if Nico isn't coming and he only costs, no, he's not going to cost only 70, 80 million. He has a market value of 90 million on transfer market. And given that his contract is until 2028, don't expect City to ask for anything less than 90 million if they don't ask for more. And again, you're only thinking about the transfer fee. You're forgetting that he's going to demand a pretty high salary. So no, we cannot afford him. Ooh, let's see what else. Plus, you would have to negotiate with City. And City are incredibly tough negotiators. Versus Nico, all you have to do is pay his clause and you're done. Trader says, Mo, Nico said he wants his issues solved by the first week of August. I see no cause for panic. I think the most critical signing has been Hansi Flick. Nico is set to go back to Athletic Club Bilbao on August 12th. He has said if he goes back to Athletic Club Bilbao by August 12th, that's it. He's staying there for sure. So it's not about so that's the deadline. But either way, it's not about panicking or not. It's Barcelona have done everything they have to do. It's no longer about time. It's no longer about panic. Barcelona have done their part. They've talked to the agent. They've told them the offer. Now it's up to Nico. So there's nothing to panic about. It's just a matter of waiting until Nico makes up his mind. If he decides to come, great. Again, if he doesn't, what can we do? It's his loss, not ours. All right. Anyways, that is all, my friends. Thank you for tuning in, for your comments, your likes, your subscriptions, and your incredibly generous donations. I will be uploading another video a little later, maybe in an hour or two. So stay tuned to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. And as always, Visca Barça.